If you're trying to build a $1 million business online, sometimes you have to just lock in and focus. And I know this because I've done it 8 times already and I'm now on my 9th. Right now, I'm building a brand new business that I haven't even shared publicly yet. And I already know that it will make $1 million, most likely far exceed that, because at this point, I've got it down to a repeatable formula. What we're gonna talk about today, is the less glamorous side of entrepreneurship. The part where you block out the noise, put your head down, and build the right foundations. And in this video, I'm gonna talk you through the exact process, the how, the what, the when, and the where of locking in and building a $1 million business in 72 hours or less. So let's dive in. What I'm gonna share with you today and map out here on the board are the key steps that you need to build out the right plan to launch this new business. And I'm gonna use the business I'm building right now as a case study so you can learn from it as we go. We're gonna be talking about how to get into the right state to have the right creative ideas for the offer. We're gonna talk about who the offer is serving, who's your dream avatar, why are you doing this, what is the outcome that you're getting for these clients, how are you gonna design the deliverables, we're gonna talk about the marketing, the positioning, we're gonna get into everything. But the first thing we must start with is how you get into a flow state. And it's really important that we talk about this before anything else, because one of the reasons why you might be struggling to get creative and have a good solid business idea and plan the right offer is because you're thinking about it at the wrong time of day. If this is the start of your day, let's say you get to your desk and you start working on your business at 8 a.m. and then you end over here, let's say something like 6 p.m. This is your window to be productive and to do your work. What ends up happening is you start your day, and of course you've just woken up. You've got no problems. Nothing is consuming your thoughts just yet, but you get a few hours in and you've got a couple of problems emerging. Then you check your emails and there's some chaos in there. Then you speak to some team members, there's some chaos there. Then you find that something is broken in the existing business you've already got, or something's going wrong at work, and all of these problems get bigger and bigger and bigger throughout the day. And what we try to do is we try to fit in our focused time to plan our business later on in the day. We want to try to work on all the little small fiddly things in the beginning, and then we block out maybe the last couple of hours of your day here to try to work on the overall big picture plan. But you can't focus. You can't get your head down. You can't be creative because you're trying to plan it while your head is full of the chaos that has accumulated over the course of the day. So it's a simple tip, but a powerful one nonetheless. I block out some time at the very beginning of my day, before that chaos has started, before I speak to the team, before I check my emails. I'm allocating the first 2 or 3 hours of my day to deep work. And I just find it so much easier to get into that flow state and to be creative because, again, all of the chaos hasn't started yet. And another top tip is, rather than trying to block out one whole day to map out the offer and the plan and what you're going to be doing, perhaps just try and do 2 or 3 hours at the beginning of every day throughout the course of a week, because that's going to be easier. Because otherwise, if you block out a whole day, as the day goes on, you're going to get distracted. Your phone is going to beep. Someone is going to phone you with an emergency. You're going to get distracted anyway. So protect that time in the morning, then go into the chaos, and then start the next day with another focused deep work session. So now, right at the beginning of the journey, in that time, what are we thinking about? What are we planning? Well, we're doing this. This is the first step. We need to get clarity on 3 things: the who, the why, and the what. Now, who is it you're wanting to serve? Who's the avatar? Who's the person that you feel, in some cases, called to serve? You just don't quite know how to just yet. Or who is it that is already in your audience that you now want to display an offer to turn them from an audience following your stuff to now a paying client inside of the business? And then the second thing is the why. Why are you even doing this? What's the goal? Because if we're just focused on building something, but we don't have the foundation of a strong reason why we're doing it, I just find it to be an uneven foundation and things can topple quite quickly. So we've got to get really clear on that. And finally, what? What is the outcome that you're wanting to get for the who? And how are we going to be structuring the deliverables to make that happen? So what is it that you're offering and what is the outcome? Now, I want to give you examples of the new business, the new offer that I'm launching right now and share with you how I'm thinking about these three things so that you can learn from that when you're building yours. And by the way, quick pit stop, many of the things we're going to be talking about today, I have already put down on something of a blueprint, a map. This is my scaling roadmap. I call it the 8-figure framework. If you're wanting to build an online business that can scale, that has the right offers, the right front-end marketing system, the right back-end revenue maximization system, I break this down for you step by step. And I've got 4 phases as well to show you how to use this to go from 0 to 20K a month, and from 20K a month to 100K a month, and then 100K a month to 200K a month, and then up to $1 million a month. It's all on here. It's really cool. It's my free gift to you, just so you can access this and follow along as you're building and planning your business. So click the link in the description box, tell us where to send it, we'll get that over to you. So where do we start with these 3 things? Well, funnily enough, I actually start with the why. Why are you doing this? I tend to find with the clients that I work with that it's one of 3 things, and you need to figure out which one it is for you, so at least you've got clarity on it. It's just important that we have that clarity. The first thing is impact, okay? The second thing is income, and the third thing is scale. So you might be doing this, you might be planning this new business, you might be wanting to build something that can hit the million and beyond, because you truly care primarily about impact. And the million in revenue is just a symbol of celebration, because that shows the amount of impact you must have had to be able to launch a 7-figure business. If it's impact, fantastic. Focus on that. Write down on a Google Doc or on handwritten notes all of the areas that you want to have an impact and why that's important to you and what's the meaning behind that. It's going to be a really good foundation for you. But then there's also income. And some people often start here, and what's really interesting about this is people start at income, and when they start making some money, it starts to become more impact. If I'm honest with you, that's where it started for me. I mean, we're talking 12 years ago now. I wanted to start a business and be my own boss and have the freedoms that I wanted. And it was primarily because I wanted to out-earn what I was doing in a day job, and I wanted to boost my income. That's where it started for me. But once you start to make the money, once you start to get the accolades, and once you start to scale businesses, slowly but surely, it does start to be more about impact than income. Okay, it's just important to know what the starting point is. And then the third is it can be scale. So you might already have an offer, you might already have a business, and the reason why you're doing it again is not because of necessarily these 2 as the primary thing. You're already doing these things, and now the primary focus on reason why is because you want to scale. Now that's what's happening for me in this video with this new offer. I've done this 8 times already. I've launched 8 businesses online that have surpassed at least $1 million. One of them's done 10 million by itself. And so I'm already having a huge impact. I'm already generating huge income. This stuff's great. I want to scale. I want to be able to do more of those 2 things. So that's why I'm creating this additional offer. Now I know why, and I get clarity on these other 2 things. It's going to act as a really strong foundation for the things I build upon it. Now the next thing we need to discuss is the who. Who is it that you're wanting to serve? Who's the avatar? Where are they at? How are they feeling? What have they got going on? And let's get clear on this. Who are you wanting to serve? For many of you watching this video, this might be the first business that you're trying to launch. So you're going to want to think through, if you had someone sat in front of you right now, wherever you are, in your office, in your home studio, whatever the case may be, if someone was to walk into your office right now and sit across from you, knowing what you know, knowing the expertise that you have, who would it be that would walk through those doors right now, sit down in front of you, and knowing what you know, that's the person you would be able to serve at the highest level. Your expertise is a perfect complement for them. Maybe it's a mirror image of you a few stages before. That's typically how this goes. If you've got expertise and knowledge to share, it's because you yourself had a problem, you overcame that problem, and now you want to pass back that solution to other people and be paid handsomely in the process. So maybe you're looking across from you at a person who is literally you, but a few years before, right? If that's the case, write it down. Make some notes on them. Get descriptive as to who this person is, how they feel, what are their pain points, what do they want, what are their desires, and let's get really, really clear on it, because that's going to help our marketing. It's going to help inform the decisions we make on the offer and how we help them to achieve that outcome. Now, there is another scenario, which is the one that I'm currently in, because my who is actually a subsection of my market that is currently underserved right now, and I want to serve them. I mentioned to you that my reason why is because I want to scale, and so already I've got two incredible programs and groups of clients. One is called Expansion, and the other is called Titan. And my expansion program is for 6-figure coaches looking to get to 7 figures. So in here, we're having higher level conversations. We're talking about scaling ad campaigns. We're talking about scaling on social media. We're talking about testing different marketing approaches and sales mechanisms and building out the operation and scaling with different offers and things. That's all happening in expansion right now. We've got a great program. We're serving some fantastic clients. We're getting some great results, and it's awesome. And then we've got Titan. Titan is actually, we kind of skip a step really, and this is our 8-figure mastermind. So this is for people that are the titans of the industry. So people that are, well, we've got basically someone in this group from every different industry you can imagine. And they're the people sat at the very top. Every time you go onto social media and you're seeing different ads coming out from the so-called gurus, most of them are in this group. And so we're having some amazing conversations over here, all 8-figure conversations, very, very high level. There's a gap here. And this is what I've been thinking a lot about lately, is I've launched lots of different offers and some of them come under here. I want to serve people who are at the stage before. We have different programs that have served them in the past, and we still have some right now, but we don't have any that sit really sequentially underneath expansion. And so I'm launching something brand new called Momentum. And Momentum is going to be for those early stage coaches and service providers and agencies that are somewhere between 0 and 6 figures. Okay, this is what this program is going to help people with. And this is the who. It's people that are spinning their wheels right now and don't feel like they've got momentum in the business yet. They're throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. They're trying different social media strategies. They're trying to run ads, but maybe they're not profitable. And they're getting a client here and there, but it's certainly not anything reliable, and they just want to get their message out there to as many people as possible that they can help and serve and build a thriving business at the same time. That's who I want to serve right here. I'm clear on it, and once we get them the result here, then we're able to offer them to come into expansion. And when they get the result there and far exceed 7 figures and into multiple 7 figures, then they can be invited in here, okay? So that is my who for this new offer that we're launching. And by the way, a really top tip while we're talking about this type of stuff, when you have a business where you're starting to build out multiple offers, if you want to do this at expert level, you have a program that provides a solution to a certain demographic, a certain who, a certain avatar. But by providing that solution, you create the next problem. That's mastery in having an offer suite. Because for example, in Momentum now, we're going to be attracting people that want to build a 7 and maybe even an 8-figure business, but they need to get started somewhere. So we work with them here. They get a fantastic ROI being in this program. They have an incredible experience. We help them get to 6 figures. So now problem becomes solution, but now the next problem. What's the next problem? Well, they want to scale to 7 figures. This program won't help them get to 7 figures. It helped them solve the immediate problem they had. So now they've got a new problem. Well, what next? How do I get to 7 figures? Well, I've got the solution for you. Come and join the conversations we're having in expansion. Come and be a part of this mastermind, and we'll show you the path to get to 7 figures. And then once they get the solution to that, we create the next problem, which Titan will solve. And the next thing is what? What is the outcome, and what is the vehicle that we're going to use to get them that outcome? Well, this is where we need to talk about the offer and really the price point as well. So let's do that right now. When we're thinking about these two things, offer and price, I wonder where you think we should start. Do we start with the offer, meaning do we plan out what it is we're going to deliver? Is it going to be one-to-one coaching, group coaching, training videos, a course, a service? Do we decide what it is and then we attach a price to it? Or do we first decide what the price is going to be, that we first establish what we feel we're worth and what we want to sell our knowledge at based on comparables in the marketplace, and then we decide what we're going to deliver for that price? Well, I guess there's multiple ways to get the same outcome, but I'll tell you what I do. I start here. I start at price. And the reason I do that is because if you do it the other way around, you can fall into a bit of a trap. And you can fall into the trap of believing that what they're paying for is the stuff. So you design your offer, you design what it is, and then you attach a price to it. And now subconsciously you think that this stuff is only worth this price. Meaning you can never put your prices up because what they're paying is linked to what they're getting. And so you're not able to scale, you're not able to service more clients and spread yourself a little thinner because you think what they're paying for is the stuff. You know what they're actually paying for? They're paying for the result. And so what we're doing is we're attaching a price to the result, and then we're going to design an offer that gets them that result. So if we just decide, for example, that we're going to go with a $5,000 offer to get my client that result, the problem that they have, to help them with the solution, I want to be paid $5,000 because that's going to pay me what I'm worth. That is what I'm seeing in the marketplace that other people are charging. There's no reason why I couldn't. So $5,000, that's my price. Because you've now established that for the result, it means that now what you're doing is you just need to create an offer that will make sure they get the result. And so it might be that when you first launch, you do that via one-to-one coaching because you're just getting started. You want to spend more time with each client. You want to really get to know them, get in the weeds, spend loads of time with them and make sure that they succeed. But what happens when you max out on your time and you want to continue to scale? Well, if what you were selling is tied to the price, you'd be stuck. But because the price is tied to the result, as long as you can maintain getting the result for clients while decreasing the deliverables, you now have a business that can scale. Meaning you used to charge $5,000 for one-to-one coaching, but you maxed out. So you change the deliverables and you start to introduce some group coaching elements. You start to introduce some course modules. So you used to give 10 hours of your time to get a client the result. Now you only have to give 4 hours of your time, but the client still gets the result because of the other elements that you have there. So we've maintained that they're paying for the result, and you are now just getting creative with how you can remove yourself more and more from the delivery, but maintain that they get the result. And so when you're deciding what to charge, it's really a combination of three things. Number one, what does your gut feeling say? What do you feel you're worth? What do you know is possible? And what do you believe you could charge? The second is a more practical, what is happening in the marketplace? Have a look at your competition. See what they're up to, see what their programs are priced at. That's going to give you a really good idea as to what the market is willing to pay for your type of thing. And then there's a third optional thing, but this actually falls into my situation, which is I want to pick a price point that complements the other things that I'm doing. For example, my Titan Mastermind costs $35,000. My Expansion Mastermind costs $30,000. And so my Momentum group, when I'm thinking about how to price it, I want to price it in a way that complements the other stuff that I've got. Well, we've got this sequential process happening. And so Momentum is going to be slightly cheaper than Expansion, but it's still going to be very high ticket because I want to attract the right type of people. So when I'm choosing my price for Momentum, it's based around largely how I feel, my gut feeling, what I can see as comparables in the marketplace for what it is I'm looking to launch and what I'm going to deliver. And then I want it to complement the other stuff that I've got going on in the business. So once you've decided how much you want to charge, we need to think about what the offer is going to be. Now, we're opening a can of worms here. We could spend hours and hours and hours on how to structure an offer, but I do want to just give you, I guess, a starting point and a way to think about this. Because this is what I do every time I think about creating an offer. I think about this thing that I call the offer triangle, and it's three things that your offer should satisfy. So when you're deciding what modality you're going to use, are you going to do one-to-one coaching, group coaching, courses, service? We need to think about these three things that a really good offer is going to satisfy. And the first is client results. This sits at the very top. We need to make sure that whatever it is that we're creating, whatever the offer looks like, we need to double down on client results. We've got to make sure that our clients are winning. That's the first thing. The second thing over here is lifestyle. We need to make sure that whatever we create that is focused on client results is not impeding too much on the lifestyle that we wish to maintain. Maybe you've got a busy family with young children, and so there's certain times in the day you don't want to be working. Maybe there's moments in the year that you want to be off on vacation and you don't want to be tied to client requests. And so you're starting to time box these moments where you're not available, and you start to build an offer that would allow that to happen. And so you've got to protect your lifestyle. And the final thing over here is scalability, okay? An offer that has the ability to scale, one that's not going to have you hitting a ceiling, but you can see into the future. And you can imagine, if I've got 10 clients or if I've got 100 clients, I'm starting to structure these deliverables in a way that I could scale. And we've got to make sure that all three of these are working together. If we overextend on any one of these, the whole thing starts to crumble. For example, if we overextend on client results and everything is about the client, well, then you're spending too much time on that. You're not going to be able to scale, and it's probably going to trickle over into your vacations, and your family are trying to enjoy time with you and you're glued to your phone because clients must get a response from you within 24 hours. Or we over leverage on lifestyle, and we're trying to build $1 million business while only allocating 1 hour a day, because outside of that, that's the lifestyle that I chose. Well, you're probably not going to be able to build $1 million business if when you first get started, you're only willing to work 1 hour a day. And finally, you can over leverage and overextend on scalability. Everything's about go, scale. And what happens is, again, your lifestyle gets eaten up because you're just always busy, always working. And your client results start to suffer because you're focused more on scale than you are serving your clients at the highest level. And so I highly suggest you think about this when you're deciding what your offer is going to be. And if you want my 2 cents, getting these two to work well together, make sure it's high ticket to start. Don't launch a $100 course and think that you're going to be able to build $1 million business. It'd be really, really challenging. I would go for something high ticket. Think about it. If you want to get to $100,000 a month in income, we're going to be able to get there so much faster if, let's say, we had a $10,000 coaching and we only have to work with 10 clients to be able to achieve that figure. I just find that the math just checks out, lifestyle checks out, we're scaling, which is great, and we can double down on a small number of clients and make sure that they get a great result. So just some food for thought. And the final thing that we've got to think about, and it's so important that you take some time to map out what your strategy is going to be, is once we have our offer that we're trying to get people to purchase, we need to decide what is our top of funnel strategy going to be. This means we've got the offer, but we've got to funnel people from social media in the busyness of all that's going on and funnel them down into the offer, okay? And so there's a few different ways to think about this, or I guess there's a few key options for you, and you can decide what's right for you. We've got cold ad strategy. Now, I've done a lot of this, okay? This is where we run ads on YouTube and Meta and LinkedIn and other platforms, and we attract a cold audience who have never heard of me before, and we take them through a process where we provide them value, and then we hopefully land them at signing up for our program. This can work. However, you need to make sure that it's a strategy that fits with the rest of the business. So that's one option. Another option is joint ventures. You decide, hey, you know what, for this particular business, this offer, I don't want to be out there going in and building a brand new audience that have never heard of me before and taking them within 48 hours through a marketing process to hopefully buy my thing. What I'd rather do is spend my time building partnerships and borrowing other people's traffic, and I can just get on other people's virtual stages or in-person stages, and I can be put in front of them, they'll like my stuff, and maybe some of them will become clients. Another great strategy, you got to think what works for you. There is a third one, and this is the strategy, the top of funnel play that I've got for this new offer called Momentum. And I'll tell you what it is, and then I'll explain why I've chosen this one for this particular offer. And that is content, okay? That is what I'm doing right now. As you can see in this video, I'm providing as much value as I possibly can to you without asking anything in return. And if I do that enough times and get in front of enough people, I have to worry less about the salesy stuff. And at the right time, people who are watching my content will come and find our offer and will sign up. Now, why for this particular new program of mine called Momentum is that my strategy if I've been known for cold ad strategy for a while? Well, because I've understood all the stuff we've talked about in this video. I know the plan, I know the why, I know the who, I know all the reasons why this is happening. And for me, the people I want in this program are not people that have to be convinced that this is the right program for them. It's also not a cheap program that can be an impulse buy. Momentum is likely going to be around $25,000. So we're probably not going to have someone see an ad from me and 24 hours later get on the phone with our sales rep and join a 25K thing. In the marketplace right now, a relationship needs to be built for those higher level things. I've got other programs that we'll use cold ads for. We've got a 10K program, we've got a 5K program, that can continue. But for this one in particular, I want great people that have been following me for a while, that get me, understand my content, and have self-qualified that this is the right thing for them. And then they come on in. So I'm going all in on providing as much incredible value as I possibly can, and the right people will find me at the right time. So for you, you've got to decide what the right top of funnel strategy is for the offer that you're creating. So that is the exact process that I've just gone through to plan my next $1 million business, and I hope that helped you. And speaking of providing content and having the right people find me at the right time, if you've been watching my content thinking, gosh, I need this guy's help, I need to get with him and his team, then we may be able to help you, and we'd love to offer you a chance to have a chat with the team. There's a video you can click on right here. Go ahead and check that out. I'll give some details about what it is like to work with us, present an opportunity for you to have a chat with us, and we'd love to find out more about you, your business, and see if we can help. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like, and I'll see you in a future one.